Everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to our WWE 2K16 Universe mode, and this is a very exciting episode. This is going to be our very first pay-per-view. This is Ring of Honor's Mystery Vortex. Now, quick word on Mystery Vortex before we start. Basically, we're not going to announce any of the card whatsoever. We know that it's going to be Chris Hero versus Kyle O'Reilly in the main event. That's all we know. We don't know what type of match that's going to be yet. All of the matches will be decided out of a hat, and you guys won't find out what the match is until the entrances. So, well, without further ado, let's get straight into our first match. And here we go. We are in Tampa, Florida for this very first match here in this Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Mystery Vortex event. And there you see Lillian Garcia in the ring. What she's basically saying is our first match is going to be for the Ring of Honor Television Championship. So we know straight away that our first entrant is going to be the Ring of Honor Television Champion, Matt Sydal. So, this match, I'll tell you right now, is a no-holds-barred match. That's what the hat has given us. But who is it going to be facing off against Matt Sydal for that Television Championship? Which I've just realised doesn't actually look as good now as it did before. I'm having a couple of issues with some of the created things on this game, and it looks like this might be another one of those issues. It looks like it definitely is. What it's done, right? What it's done is it's taken the wrong logos from my logo screen and put them on the belt. That is very, very annoying. It doesn't. This belt has been working absolutely perfectly fine the whole way through this universe mode, so I don't know why all of a sudden it has gone dodgy, but I'll get that fixed straight after this episode. But who is it going to be? Who's it going to be facing off against? Matt Sydal for that Television Championship in this no-holds-barred match. The fans are excited. Who is it going to be? Is that... It is. It's Zack Sabre Jr. has been picked out of the hat to face off against Matt Sydal. Zack Sabre Jr., a very, very strong competitor here and a big danger to Matt Sydal's Television Championship reign. Of course, Zack Sabre Jr. we're more used to seeing in Global Force Wrestling, but he is going to be part of this Ring of Honor roster as well. And yeah, like I said, I think Matt Sydal could be in some serious danger here. Of course, this is not just a singles match. This is no holds barred as well. And if anybody knows a plethora of different holds, it's this man here, Zack Sabre Jr. We could be seeing our very, very first Ring of Honor title change here this evening, as we're going to see Zack Sabre Jr. face off against Matt Sydal for that Ring of Honor Television Championship. As you see, the crowd are really excited for this first match. There is the belt, and like I say, there's been a... God. What is it with this bloody game? There's so many really bad glitches. And here we go. Hopefully our little belt problem is not gonna ruin this match. And like I say, because this is a pay-per-view, we will be getting all of the entrances here this evening, as well as all the matches are going to be on a slower momentum as well, just to make the pay-per-views feel a bit more special, and hopefully get some better matches out of it as well, as we see a good bit of chain wrestling to start this one off between Matt Sydal and Zack Sabre Jr. And it's Sydal who's in control, but Zack Sabre Jr. getting the head scissors. And this is really good because Zack Sabre Jr. is a great chain wrestler, great mat wrestler as well. And it's great to see him actually doing some more stuff like this. Great arm drag there by Zack Sabre Jr. into a headlock. And what a fantastic way to start this match off. I'm not quite sure that Matt Sydal really wants to get into a chain wrestling battle with Zack Sabre Jr. Because I think it's really Zack Sabre Jr.'s roadhouse that. Referee looks like he's going to have to break these two up. Is there going to be a clean break? There is a clean break. Sabre Jr. now. Straight away with that butterfly powerbomb. Great move by Zack Sabre Jr. And like I said, Zack Sabre Jr. is a very, very difficult opponent here for Matt Sydal. And let's just take a quick second as well to have a look at how good this arena is. Just look at the side of the ring. Of course, because this is a Pro Wrestling Guerrilla format, we are using the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla arena, and I will try and do that a bit more during the universe mode, just to try and make things a little bit more different. So we might have the Shikara arena, or we might have Pro Wrestling Guerrilla arena, or in Global Force Wrestling we're going to have NJPW, we'll have AAA, we'll have Lucha Underground. We'll have a lot of different types of arenas to be used, just to really use everything to our advantage. Really, I want to be able to use all these different arenas. Just because we've only got these 6 brands set in, it would be nice to still use all these arenas. And we could even use the TNA arena at some point. Not quite sure. Maybe we could do like a pay-per-view, like a Bound for Glory style pay-per-view that could last a few days, but very, very similar to the G1 Climax in Global Force Wrestling, where they have sort of like 4 groups of 4. Everyone plays each other once, and then you have the semi-finals, the final. That's something we could definitely do for Ring of Honor, maybe taking the TNA format. But at the moment, I already have pay-per-views planned in for the next 12 months. But we're not necessarily only going to be playing this for 12 months. We could go even further into this universe mode. That's what I hope to do. As long as you guys are still enjoying it and you're still watching it, then I will obviously continue to make it. I do want to try and vary my videos a bit more now. As you can see, I am uploading Fallout 4 footage every single day, and I will continue to do that, even though I've not played the game in about 10 days now, because I've been doing all these videos. I did manage to get quite a lot of Fallout 4 footage recorded in the 2 or 3 nights I played it, so I'm still uploading all of that at the moment. But I do want to get back on doing the random matches as well this week, so hopefully I'll be able to get a random match uploaded today as well. But this week I should be able to get the episode of Universe Mode, a random match, and a Fallout 4 video uploaded every single day of the week. That's what I plan on doing. So if you guys have suggested any random matches over the last couple of weeks or so, then keep an eye out, because I will be uploading, I'm going to say about 1 a day at least in the random matches. It's probably going to be 1 a day for now, until I can get like a bit more ahead of myself. But of course, if you guys do have any more suggestions for random matches you would like to see, please drop them down in the comment section below. I do note them all down. I've got a big folder on my desk now with all the results from the universe mode, all the champions, everything like that. And I've also got a big chunk at the back with all your random match ideas with your names next to them as well. So if I do use your suggestion, you will get a shout out. And of course, it'd have to be random match suggestions. If you have any suggestions for the universe mode, again, please let me know in the comment section below. We'll try and use them all. Matt Sydal looking in control of this one at the moment, but we know how good Zack Sabre Jr. is in the ring. He could take control at any point in time. Matt Sydal with that neck breaker after having Zack Sabre Jr. draped over that top turnbuckle. Now Sydal just bringing Zack Sabre Jr. into the middle of the ring. Drop kick to the back as well, and Sydal really taking some control of this match now. And of course, remember, this is Mystery Vortex. We are going to have a 7-match card for you this evening. Of course, you guys don't know what that card is as of yet. I have drawn it out of a hat, so I know now all the matches. I just want to do that so I could get through and record it all in one go, rather than having to keep cutting out and come back in and cutting out and come back in. So the entire card is already booked. And I'll tell you one thing, there are some really random matches in there for you, there really is. But there's also some fantastic matches as well that I'm really looking forward to. And of course, there are going to be some debuts as well this evening. Not just debuts of people we haven't seen yet, but debuts from people that I didn't even mention in the introduction episode, because I've managed to get hold of them since then. So yeah, be sure to keep an eye out for that. Some big ones that a lot of you will be happy to see, especially if you are big Ring of Honor fans. That's all I'm going to say. Matt Sydal now attacking Zack Sabre Jr. with this ladder. And I wish you could sort of change the commentary team. I suppose you can't change the commentary team because of the actual voice commentary, but because I have this voice commentary switched off because I do it myself, it'd be nice if I could like put maybe Excalibur and Chris Hero or someone like that at the announce table. Just for the looks, really, especially in this universe mode. Or like if you're doing, say, an Attitude Era one, you could put Jerry the King Lawler and JR at ringside. Referee the count too. Oh, so close. Matt Sydal nearly successfully defended his television championship there over what would be an incredibly difficult opponent. in the shape of Zack Sabre Jr. And I am looking to hopefully bring Ricochet in at some point. I have had a fantastic idea for that. I can't remember who it was who suggested it, but I will look that up if we do use it. But as Matt Sydal with a crunch in again, so close to the 3 count. Yeah, I have had a fantastic idea of something we can do with Ricochet. But of course, at the moment, recently, Ricochet has been teaming up with Matt Sydal in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So that's something we'll definitely have a look at doing, because that's a fantastic team we can have go. And there we go. Zack Sabre Jr. makes Matt Sydal tap. Oh my god, we got a submission victory in this universe mode. And it's also a title change. What a fantastic way to start this this Mystery Vortex pay-per-view off. The debut in Ring of Honor for Zack Sabre Jr. and also getting a submission victory. And submission victories are very difficult to get on this game. I'm not going to lie. AI versus AI submission victories are almost unheard of. But Zack Sabre Jr. managed to catch Matt Sydal in with a cross armbar. I'm a little bit shocked here, I must admit. And we have a brand new champion here. And it's Zack Sabre Jr., someone that I really wanted to do really well last year in our 2K15 universe mode. No matter how many opportunities I gave him, he just did not perform. And now, all of a sudden, in this universe mode, he has a championship belt within the first week of the universe mode. That was a crunchy by Matt Sydal. I thought that could have been all. But it was only enough for a 2 count. And there you go, the cross armbar. And like I say, submission victories are not very common in this universe mode at the moment. There it is. Matt Sydal had no choice but to tap out there. And we have a brand new Ring of Honor television champion here for you. Zack Sabre Jr. holds the belt up high. I'm shocked at this, and we do still have, of course, the Tag Team Championship and the Ring of Honor Championship matches coming for you this evening. And could we see even more titles change hands? Well done, Zack Sabre Jr. And here we go with our second match of the evening here in Tampa, Florida. And there he is. It's Doc Gallows making his debut here in Ring of Honor. And of course, all of Bullet Club this year are going to be working both Ring of Honor and Global Force Wrestling. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to really help us do some feuds as well. I'm looking at maybe doing a feud between AJ Styles and Adam Cole. Of course, with getting Bullet Club and with getting Kingdom involved in that one, making it sort of like a 6-man sort of feud. That's something we definitely want to do. And because obviously all 6 of those guys work in both Ring of Honor and Global Force, it means we can have that feud going across both. Now, who is going to be Doc Gallows' opponent here? Of course, like I said, this is Gallows' in-ring debut here in Ring of Honor. And like I said, it could be completely random. Who's he going to be facing off against? Takes his mask off finally. Who is it going to be? Gallows is welcoming the person in. It is the debut here in Ring of Honor of the unbreakable Michael Elgin. Pretty good core as well, I must admit. Very good looking. Looks perfectly as it should do. And this is a great new addition here to our Ring of Honor roster. Somebody who's going to be involved in the main event for the Ring of Honor Championship as well. And also could potentially in tag teams in the later future as well. And this is Michael Elgin's first opportunity this evening to really show what he can do in a match against, again, the debuting Doc Gallows. Elgin just staring Gallows down. Gallows drops out of the ring, allowing Elgin his last few seconds of his entrance as Elgin just stares Gallows around the ring. And this is going to be a great match to see two debuting guys here in Ring of Honor. The referee rings the bell and we are underway. So both these guys, like I said, debuting here this evening in Ring of Honor. Who's going to be the guy that picks up the victory? This is just a single standard singles match. And it's an important one for both these guys. Like I say, it's you want to really kickstart your momentum and kickstart your trip up the rankings, I would imagine, as well. And I'm excited to finally get a hold of Michael Elgin. He's someone I've been looking to get downloaded since I very first got this game, but he just was not available on the community creations, and now not only is he available, I think he's actually a very good core as well. The attire's spot on. I think the face is spot on as well. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Of course, if you have watched my, I think it might have been the Ring of Honor and the Global Force Tag Team Championship tournaments, I did have a different Doc Gallows. He was not fantastic. This one, of course, as you can see, is a better one. And again, let me know in the comment section below if you think both these cores are good. If you think any of the cores need looking at, then please let me know in the comment section below. We will obviously change them as time goes on. Doc Gallows just wrenching back at the neck of Michael Elgin. Now Elgin finally gets the ropes and the referee makes Doc Gallows break it. Doc Gallows now with that big headbutt. And remember, this is only the second match of 7 we have for you this evening. We still have 2 more championship matches. Well, we know what our main event is going to be. We know it's Chris Hero versus Kyle O'Reilly, but of course the match type has been picked out of a hat as well. So that's going to be a surprise to you guys. And I'm just looking at the card now. We have some fantastic matches for you this evening as well. Some that I was surprised that got put together. And one that is actually, I've written it down wrong, so I'm going to show you that now where I remember. Michael Elgin now, just a big kick to the chest of Doc Gallows, who was grounded at the time. Elgin bringing Gallows back up to his feet, and I think obviously next week we can start building towards our next pay-per-view. Not quite sure what it's going to be as yet, but I do like the idea of maybe having a Ring of Honor Top Prospect Championship tournament going all the way through to our next pay-per-view. As there's a big Super Falcon arrow by Michael Elgin. Into the pin he goes. 1, 2. Oh, it's only a 2 count. Doc Gallows was nearly defeated already. Big kick to the back there by Michael Elgin. Bring Gallows back up, but Gallows with that arm drag. Yeah, that's what one of my ideas. I want to try and bring in. I was thinking along the lines of the Junior Heavyweight Championship. I wasn't over keen on that, and then Jay suggested we bring back the Ring of Honor Pure Championship, which I thought was a really good idea. But at the same time, there's certain rules that are involved in the Pure Championship that we can't do on the game, so I'm not quite sure if that's going to work. But I think Top Prospect is a really good idea. Because, of course, Ring of Honor do use the Top Prospect tournament themselves. So to have it brought in with a championship belt as well would be pretty good. But not only that, as it might give us a way to debut some more sort of cruiserweights and up-and-coming stars on Ring of Honor, which will obviously help us boost up the roster here as well. So that's definitely something I want to have a look at doing. Maybe hitting maybe 2 Top Prospect matches per week for the next 8 weeks, all the way up to our big, of course, pay-per-view, next pay-per-view. I'm not quite sure what our next pay-per-view is. I've not got it written down, but I've got a feeling it's probably going to be a tag team tournament, I would reckon. I'll have to double check. I know I've tried to keep the formats of Global Force and Ring of Honor different, as Elgin with the buckle bombs only enough for a 2 count. So yeah, I've tried to keep them different. I know our first Global Force Wrestling pay-per-view is G1 Climax, so I didn't want to do another singles tournament the month after for Ring of Honor, so I might have done tag team instead. So I'll have to have a look and double check, see what I have got put in for that. As Doc Gallows now. Oh, just power slams Elgin into the turnbuckle, then down to the mat. Gallows the pin. 1, 2. Oh, Elgin kicks out on the verge of 3. Gallows thought he had that one won then. Elgin back up to his feet now though. But Gallows was there waiting for him, sending Elgin off that far rope. Then dropping Elgin face first into the mat. Gallows bringing Elgin back up to his feet now. Elgin slides off the back of Gallows, and there's a big backdrop. Now Elgin is lining Doc Gallows up. What is he a plan here? Taking Gallows up, showing his strength. Elgin bomb, middle of the ring, in for the pin. 1, 2, and 3. And there you go. Michael Elgin, successful debut here in Ring of Honor over Doc Gallows. As we see just a few of the highlights. Look at that backdrop with the arm hooked as well. Almost like a Regalplex. Not quite, but like the Regalplex. See Gallows here with one of the pins earlier on. Of course, that was only enough for a 2 count. But it was close nonetheless. This was the buckle bomb by Elgin. And Elgin, all the way through this match, showed his superior strength. Remember, Elgin is probably one of the strongest men on the indie scene. The buckle bomb, of course, was only enough for a 2 count. Doc Gallows almost looked to try and take control at this point in the match. Here he is with the running sort of power slam into the ropes and then down to the mat. Went for the pin himself, but again, it was only enough for a 2 count. Then Michael Elgin, you see here, brings Gallows up, spins him round, down into the Elgin bomb. And that was enough for the 1, the 2, and the 3 count. So well done to Michael Elgin. Successful debut victory here for him on Ring of Honor. Like I said, another fantastic name who's going to be at the top end of this Ring of Honor card. And maybe even in Global Force Wrestling as well. We'll have to wait and see what the future holds for Michael Elgin. And here we go with our next match here this evening then. Who is it going to be? The crowd are really excited for this one once again. And oh, here comes one half of the Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Champions. It's Bobby Fish on his own this evening. Of course, remember, Kyle O'Reilly is in our main event against Chris Hero. So Bobby Fish is going solo here. Like I said, one half of the Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. And I think we've got him scheduled to defend those belts pretty soon, actually, on Global Force Wrestling. I have to keep an eye out for that. And they're going for that Colin Cassidy entrance that quite a few guys in this game have. Maybe that's just like a standard entrance that everyone in the game seems to get. Might have to have a look at changing that, I don't know. And who's he going to be facing off against here this evening? I will say that this match is a fatal 4-way Extreme Rules match. And it's Tommaso Ciampa. So yeah, this is going to be a fatal 4-way Extreme Rules match. We know it's Bobby Fish. We know it's Tommaso Ciampa. We have 2 more guys yet to enter this match. But, of course, Tommaso Ciampa is someone who, at the moment, is working Ring of Honor. He's working Global Force Wrestling and he's working NXT as well. Until we get some confirmation that he's been officially signed by NXT, he will be continuing to work all those 3 brands at the same time. And that's a little annoying. He seems to have the exact same entrance as Bobby Fish, and it probably isn't too bad in separate situations. But like I say, when 2 guys come out with the same entrance one after the other, let's hope that the other 2 guys in this match don't have the same entrance as each other. Who is going to be the 3rd entrant into this one? It's the War Machine Rhino. I keep calling him, it's not the War Machine, is it? It's the Man Beast Rhino. Was he called War Machine as well? You see, Rhino does have a separate entrance to everyone else. That's pretty good. So the Man Beast Rhino is the third entrant into this Extreme Rules Fatal 4-Way. And you'd have to think, has Rhino got an advantage here because the Extreme Rules aspect of this match is sort of right up his alley. So maybe he's looking in a better situation than the other guys in this match. But who is going to be the fourth and final entrant into this one? The crowd seem pretty excited. Who is it going to be? Who is that? Is that? It is. That's Brian Cage. The debuting Brian Cage here. So that means we have both members of the Unbreakable Machines making their debut here this evening. Both Michael Elgin and Brian Cage. Cage's face looks right, but at the same time his expression just looks a bit strange. Seems to be stuck with the same facial expression the whole time, but it does look pretty good. And of course, like I said, it means we do now have the Unbreakable effing Machines as a tag team here on our Universe mode. Of course, I'm pretty sure they're going to be working both Ring of Honor and Global Force at the same time, which is pretty good. It's going to give us a lot more strength and depth in both of those rosters. Plus it also helps with if we do try and do some sort of Lucha Underground style pay-per-view in Global Force Wrestling, having Cage on there be pretty damn good as well. I'm just I like him, but I'm just not 100% sure on the. His face looks good, but at the same time it just looks a little bit screwed up, if that makes sense. Once again, let me know in the comment section below what you think of that Brian Cage and all the calls here in this match as we look to get underway. And here we go. Who's going to come out on top of this Fatal 4-Way Extreme Rules match? It's going to be a hell of a match, this one. I just see Brian Cage straight away showing his strength over Bobby Fish. Cage went for the splash and Fish avoided it. Remember just how dominant Brian Cage was towards the end of our Universe mode last year. He was a man to be reckoned with. He was a man who was just undefeatable. Towards the end, I think I say that he did lose his Intercontinental Championship right towards the end of the Universe mode, and he was involved in the Global Championship against Okada as well. Unfortunately, I don't think he won that either. I can't quite remember now. It's been a while ago since I recorded those finale episodes. Brian Cage with a DDT onto the chair on Bobby Fish, and Brian Cage is really just decimating Bobby Fish here on his debut. Big back elbow, and now you'd have to think that Brian Cage could also be involved in the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship here in Ring of Honor. I think Rhino, Ciampa and Bobby Fish will definitely be looking at the Television Championship at some point. For me, I think Brian Cage, Tag Team Championships, and like I said, also the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship at some point. Be interested to see Brian Cage versus Michael Elgin go at it for #1 contendership, maybe something on them sort of lines. That'd be, I say, that'd be very interesting. And remember, this is a Fatal 4-Way match. It's not elimination, so first pinfall or submission is going to win this one. Couple of big right hands there by Ciampa on the outside on Rhino, and Brian Cage is just demolishing Bobby Fish. I don't think Bobby Fish has got any offense on Brian Cage at all so far in this match. Brian Cage is dropping Bobby Fish now face first. And like I said, Brian Cage will be involved in Global Force Wrestling as well, so be sure to keep an eye out for him there. I'm thinking we're definitely going to see himself and Michael Elgin looking at those Tag Team Championships at some point. I'm not 100% sure if I've actually set them up as a tag team yet, but they definitely will be set up as a tag team. Just flicking through my notes over here. You know what? The tag team championships haven't been defended as of yet by the heavyweight tag champions who were. Lost that now as well. Which was Beer Money. Ooh, Beer Money. The Global Force Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Maybe they could defend their belts next week against the Unbreakable effing Machines, Brian Cage and Michael Elgin. That would be very interesting. Interesting indeed. I'm looking forward to seeing how that one plans out. I'm looking forward to seeing how that one plays out, should I say. As I'm trying to find my notes here on my desk of things that I've done that I need to keep track of. You see Bobby Fish gyrating there above Brian Cage. I think he might end up regretting that, and he does, as Tommaso Ciampa just launches Bobby Fish outside the ring. Cage looks to be following now. Cage slides back in the ring, and it's Cage and the man-beast Rhino. Is the Rhino going to be... Oh, Brian Cage just... Rhino up into the air, gorilla press. Into a power slam, standing moonsault as well by Brian Cage. In for the pin he goes. 1, 2... And there you go. Brian Cage has demolished this entire Fatal 4-Way match. And he's come out on top as well. Brian Cage has just demolished everybody, and here he is. See him taking Rhino up, dropping him onto his shoulder into the power slam, and then the standing moonsault as well. And Brian Cage picks up the 3 count. Wow, what a debut. We've seen 2 fantastic debuts now so far, in the shape of Brian Cage and Michael Elgin. And of course the Unbreakable effing Machines are going to be very, very dominant in this universe mode. I can see this coming now. And here we go with our 4th match of the evening. I'll tell you what, you guys, you are so lucky that I'm cutting all these loading screens out for you. They take a hell of a long time. And as you can see, here come our Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, the Motor City Machine Guns. So this, as you probably guessed, is going to be our Tag Team Championship match. You know, as I was saying, the loading screens are so long, and I think that's because it's having to load 4 created wrestlers, it's having to load the championship belts, it's having to load the entrances. So it looks like Alex Shelley's belt is actually broken. Seems to be dented. Not quite sure why that's happening, but there you go. But yeah, these are your Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, and who are they going to be defending against? We're going to find out right now. It's another 2 debuts here this evening. It's the American Wolves, Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards. Both, for some reason, have stolen Alberto Del Rio's white scarf. Not quite sure why they've done that, but there you go. And this is going to be very interesting here. The American Wolves, a fantastic tag team, finally making their debut here in Ring of Honor. Of course, they will be working Global Force Wrestling as well, but will they be working Global Force Wrestling with that Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship? We're going to find out here this evening. As the referee holds them belts up high. Let's get underway. And here we go. Looks like it's going to be Alex Shelley and Eddie Edwards to start things off here. And this is the first Tag Team Championship defense for the Motor City Machine Guns. And we've already seen one championship in the very first defense by Matt Sydal change hands to Zack Sabre Jr. here this evening. Is this going to be the second championship to change hands? Will the American Wolves be able to make their debut here in Ring of Honor a successful one? And of course, the Motor City Machine Guns are a team that are very strong, and they're going to be working. They're going to be part of quite a lot, really. They're going to be involved in the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship as well, of course. Also, the Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. Not quite sure if they'll be involved in the Global Force Wrestling sort of normal Tag Team Championships. I think that might be. I think the normal championships are going to be reserved more for the bigger guys, maybe like Bullet Club. Of course, the Bullet Club, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson is what I mean. Guys like the Unbreakable effing Machines as well. You've got Beer Money. You've got the team of Magnus and Bram. I think also the American Wolves will be involved in that as well. So there's going to be a lot of tag teams on the go in this universe mode at the same time. And I think that's only a good thing, really. And there's more teams that we want to try and get hold of at some point as well, of course. But these are just a few of our first debuting guys. As I said, the universe mode is going to be very, very fluid. Things are going to change. People are going to come in. People are going to disappear. But I wouldn't expect to see a hell of a lot of change just yet, because obviously we've only just started. This is our very first pay-per-view, and we're not going to be getting rid of people straight away after one match or anything like that. We're going to give them like a fair chance to prove themselves, just like we did in Global Force Wrestling with Killshot. He was somebody that I was considering maybe dropping if somebody else better came along, and then Killshot went on and won the Next Gen Championship. So yeah, Killshot has really made himself indispensable now to the Global Force Wrestling roster at the moment, of course. Should he lose that belt, which is a possibility, then I think he might have to be looked at. I don't know, I like Killshot, I do. Of course, Killshot is Shane Strickland, for those who don't know. Shane Strickland, who works Combat Zone Wrestling. I do like him, but I think there might be some other people that we might be able to get more use out of, especially Ring of Honor. I say Ring of Honor's got a small roster, but it's not a small roster at all. It's a lot bigger than our roster we had in 2K15. I think we're up to about 36, 37 now, so that's easily enough to put on some fantastic and varied shows for you. But there's probably still a few that I really want to get hold of that that will be involved in this universe mode at some part. Of course, we've already seen the debut now this evening of the American Wolves, David Richards and Eddie Edwards. We've seen the debut of Brian Cage. We've seen the debut of Michael Elgin as well. So we've had 4 debuts here this evening already. And who knows, there may even be more later on this evening. Of course, we do still have 3 more big matches after this one for you. Of course, like I said, I did draw almost all of these matches out of a hat. And I did put them in order of how good they were, sort of thing. Not necessarily how good. I just put them in a sensible order for a pay-per-view, because the match that was pulled out first, which is going to be our 6th match here this evening, was just a bit too good to start the show with. So that's like I said, be sure to keep an eye out for that. That's going to be a really good one. It's going to be an interesting one, to say the least. It's a match type that I haven't used yet on this universe mode, or on 2K16 altogether. So yeah, be sure to keep tuned for that. And of course, we do still have our Chris Hero versus Kyle O'Reilly match for the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship later on this evening. I have, like I said, I've pulled the match type out of a hat for that one, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. That again is going to be a different type of match we haven't used yet on this universe mode. As is the next match, is also a match we haven't used yet on this universe mode. So we're going to have 3 brand new match types this evening, let alone some of the great guys we're going to see wrestle as well. I will say we've got there's a couple of people we haven't seen wrestle at all yet either, and like I said, there might be another debut or two. Let's just see and wait what happens on that one, as Chris Sabin brings in his partner Alex Shelley. And I'm sure the Motor City Machine Guns are one of my favourite ever tag teams. When I started watching TNA in sort of like the mid-2000s, I didn't get into it till quite late. And yeah, they were just an amazing tag team. I seem to remember they did a great little best of 5 series alongside Beer Money at one point, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. But then, of course, Alex Shelley went a separate way from TNA. Chris Sabin got a pretty bad injury as well, and they sort of split up. And of course, Alex Shelley is now across in New Japan Pro Wrestling, working alongside, is it Kushida, as part of the Time Splitters tag team. And I'm not sure what Chris Sabin's doing now at the moment, to tell the truth. I think he's probably just still working indies on his own. I think he recently did do a UK tour, because I'm sure he was part of a Southside Wrestling event, which I was unfortunately unable to make it to. But yeah, they're a tag team that I really miss, and I know it was someone that in our previous 2K15 universe mode, it was Tabby Gamer who asked us to add Motor City Machine Guns into the 2K15 universe mode, and what a fantastic idea it was, as they came in and won the Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships on their very first appearance on Global Force Wrestling. As Sabin goes up top, there's a big splash by Sabin now, and Davey Richards in for the pin. He goes 1, 2, it's only a 2 count. Davey Richards kicks out. I think Eddie Edwards managed to take out Alex Shelley on the other side of the ring there as well. We couldn't quite see It was cut out of our screen, but it looked that way. Big DDT there by Chris Sabin on Davey Richards. Now Sabin in with a pin again. 1, 2. Oh, on the brink of 3. Davey Richards kicks out. I think Eddie Edwards and Alex Shelley still fighting on the outside as we see some legs come flying into the ring. I think those are the legs of Alex Shelley in the air. German suplex now by Davey Richards. Again, bringing Chris Sabin back up to his feet. And I must say, how good did this Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards cause look? They are absolutely fantastic. And they're going to be fantastic additions to our Ring of Honor and Global Force Wrestling Universe modes. And who knows, like I said, maybe involved in other things as well. Great springboard suplex there by Eddie Edwards. Edwards now trying to bring Sabin back up to his feet, but Sabin with a jawbreaker. I'm unsure what we're going to do with NXT as well. I'm just looking at the recent NXT taping results. And they do like to bring in the odd indie guy here and there just to put over some of the other talent. So I'm wondering whether we should start doing the same thing. Sabin with a pin. Shelley comes round. Only a 2 count. Shelley took out Davey Richards, but Eddie Edwards managed to kick out after the 2. And the Motor City Machine Guns are looking very good here this evening. There's that package stunner by Eddie Edwards. Is that going to be enough? Davey Richards is still in the ring. 1. It's only a 1 count. Richards was a little bit shaken there, shall I say. Oh, by having Davey Richards in this universe mode as well, it's going to mean that I might be able to recreate one of my favourite matches, a match that I've seen live, which of course was Davey Richards versus Tommy End. That was an incredible match, that was. 2 incredibly stiff kickers as well. It was a hell of a match, and I really want to try and recreate that. Also, looking at maybe doing like Tommy End versus Chris Hero. As you might have guessed, Tommy End is one of my favourite wrestlers, and we're really going to be using him to quite high effect in this universe mode. And I want to thank the guy, I think his name is Dan Harrington. I want to thank him for actually making the Tommy End core. It's a really, really good one, and we're going to get a lot of use out of it this year. Like I say, if you don't know who Tommy End is, then be sure to just have a look on YouTube. There's a lot of videos on there. He is an immense wrestler. I think he's also trained in, I think it's either kickboxing or it's a martial art or something on them sort of lines. So, yeah, and also if you check out Pro Wrestling Guerrillas YouTube page, and they do sort of like a little 8 or 9 minute videos on their most recent pay-per-views just to show you all of the action that's happened, and you can see Tommy End on the previous few. He is just an immense wrestler, and I definitely suggest having to keep an eye out for him. And of course he's going to be heavily involved in our Global Force Wrestling roster, and I'm thinking maybe even bringing him in to Ring of Honor at some point as well. Not 100% sure yet. Eddie Edwards now hooking that leg. There he goes down with it, almost like a brainbuster. Eddie Edwards now, though, just taunting the grounded Chris Sabin. Didn't go for the pin there, but that looked like it might have been his finishing maneuver he hit. Now Davey Richards catching the arms, taking Sabin up, and there's that big butterfly power driver. And that could be all here. But Richards, instead of going for the pin, went for a taunt instead. And I've said this on a few occasions now, I don't think the AI in tag team matches is very good, because I'm sure that both guys there just hit very impactful moves, and they should have gone for pins, really. Davey Richards now that big clothesline. And again, why is he not going for the pin? He's going to go for a cloverleaf submission hold instead here, by the looks of it. It's not enough. Now, Davey Richards was some of you guys might not know this, but when Daniel Bryan left the indie scene, I've got a DVD actually where I think it's a Dragon Gate USA DVD. Of course, Dragon Gate USA didn't last very long. I think they merged in with Evolve in the end, to tell the truth. But yeah, it was a great DVD, and I think it was one of the first ever Dragon Gate USA events, and it had Daniel Bryan on there, and it was Daniel Bryan's last indie appearance. He put on an absolutely incredible match, Daniel Bryan. And then afterwards, he brought out Davey Richards, who had already had another incredible match earlier on in the evening. And yeah, Daniel Bryan basically left the indie scene in the hands of Davey Richards, essentially. That's what he said. He said the indie scene is an important part of wrestling, and Davey Richards is the guy that can help bring the indie scene on. And Davey Richards, again, later on in a Pro Wrestling Guerrilla DVD, did the same thing himself when he joined TNA. This is before TNA allowed their stars to work indie events again. So obviously American Wolves have made their return now to Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. But Davey Richards made an announcement that he left the indie scene in the hands of Kyle O'Reilly. So it's pretty interesting to see how the endorsement from Daniel Bryan really helped Davey Richards take the indie scene up to the next level. And the same thing with Davey Richards and Kyle O'Reilly. O'Reilly was only ever seen as a tag team competitor alongside Bobby Fish really as Red Dragon. And then that endorsement from Davey Richards really helped O'Reilly take it up to the next level. And we're going to be seeing a lot more of O'Reilly this year. He's going to be involved in the championship picture himself as well. As this tag team match has really given us some fantastic action here this evening. Eddie Edwards there with that arm drag. And to tell you the truth, I can't even begin to imagine who's going to win this one. Both these guys look to be doing very, very well. But with that big kick to the side of the head by Eddie Edwards, we might have just had our decision. Oh my word. Oh my word, did you just see that? The American Wolves have won the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships, but Alex Shelley had a hold of that bottom rope. So we are brand new Tag Team Champions here for you this evening, but should it count? That's the question. I think what's going to have to happen, of course, is that the Motor City Machine Guns is going to have a rematch for these Tag Team Championships, because it was a fantastic tag team match here, don't get me wrong. But like I said, Alex Shelley, he had his hand on that bottom rope. That should have been a rope break. Referee was not in the best angle to see it, in fairness to him, but still. But either way, no matter what happened, the record books will show that the American Wolves won this match and they've become the new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. And the way this is going at the moment, it's not looking very good for Chris Hero. We've had 2 championship matches. Both belts have changed hands. And Chris Hero must be sat there backstage now thinking, I hope the hell I can keep a hold of my belt here this evening. He is going to face off against Kyle O'Reilly, the man I've been endorsing so highly during this match. Of course, Kyle O'Reilly won half of the Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions as well. Yeah, so like I said, brand new Tag Team Champions here. The American Wolves in their debut here this evening. First time we've seen him in this universe mode, and straight away they're walking away with the championship belts. Maybe not 100% deserving, shall we say, because Alex Shelley's hand was on that bottom rope. It should have been a rope break. Referee did not see it. And like I said, I'm pretty sure we're going to end up with a rematch, probably on the following episode of Ring of Honor Television. But keep an eye out for that episode that should be uploaded on Thursday morning. But either way, new tag team champions, the American Wolves. And here we go with our next match of the evening, match number 5. And like I said to you earlier, yeah, the loading screens are bloody long. And as you can see, we are going to have a ladder match. To be more precise, it's going to be a fatal 4-way ladder match. And here comes our first entrant. It is the greatest man who ever lived, Austin Aries. What a fantastic man to have involved here in a ladder match. I was so happy when his name got pulled out of the hat. I really was. And this is a little bit more of a random one, to tell the truth, if you look at the actual people that are involved. But it's going to be very, very interesting. I think all 4 of these guys' styles do very much match a ladder match as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. And Austin Aries is somebody... This is not really a spoiler, but Austin Aries is somebody who was recently spotted backstage at the NXT tapings a few days back, and that was very interesting. People believe that he was having a bit of a tryout, so he didn't actually have a match on the tapings, but he was there alongside Gunner as well, former TNA star Gunner, And of course, James Storm was there. James Storm had a match. So a few former TNA guys there. And who's going to be our second entrant? Here he is. It's Kenny King. Fresh off of that huge victory last week against Adam Cole on Ring of Honor television. Absolutely amazing victory for Kenny King. And that's going to leapfrog him a little bit up some of the rankings. I don't think he's ever going to be good enough to be involved in the Ring of Honor Championship. But television championship is a possibility. But like I mentioned earlier on about the possibility of doing a top prospects tournament over the course of the next 8 weeks up until our next pay-per-view, I think Kenny King could definitely be involved in that. So that would be the introduction of a brand new championship as well. So I'm looking forward to that. That's an idea that has popped into my head and I think is going to be pretty good on the way forward. And who's going to be the third man in this match? The crowd are happy. Of course, it'd be a bit easier if we could listen to the music to sort of wet people's whistles, but of course I can't do the music. It's Nick Jackson. Nick Jackson, one half of Bullet Club's The Young Bucks. And what a fantastic competitor he is for a ladder match. We know what he's like in the ring. He's an absolute daredevil. Yeah, like I was saying, I can't have the entrance music because of YouTube's rules and regulations about copyrighted music. So therefore we have to have silent entrances, I'm afraid, which is a little bit annoying. And talking annoying, it looks like Nick Jackson also has the same entrance, which is it's not a major problem. I shall get it fixed though. I'm not quite sure why it's like that, but there you go. But either way, 3 of our 4 competitors are known now. Who is going to be the 4th here this evening? It is the debuting ACH. And again, what another fantastic core this is. Look at him. Face again is spot on. Much better than our 2K15 version of ACH. And again, another person who could be involved in this Ring of Honor's top prospect tournament across the next 8 weeks to crown our first top prospect. And like I said, that's going to be a championship belt here in our universe mode, unlike in real life where I think Ring of Honor just give it as a title, and I'm not quite sure what the top prospect does. Is it like a tournament and the winner gets a contract or something along them sort of lines? But ACH showed off some incredible agility there, and that's the sort of agility he's going to have to use in this ladder match. And here we go, we now know all 4 members of this ladder match. It's going to be Austin Aries, Kenny King, Nick Jackson, and ACH. And here we go, we are underway. As it breaks off into 2 parts, to see Nick Jackson and ACH and Austin Aries and Kenny King. Like I said, all 4 of these guys really do suit a ladder match really, really well. And I've just thought of something that I might forget later, and I hope I haven't forgot it. Of course, normally I write in the description the card for the upcoming match, and that sort of helps people find these videos via the search function as well. If you search for certain wrestlers' names, you'll see who's in this video. But I need to remember that I cannot do that in this event because it is Mystery Vortex. That would be a spoiler. You see Kenny King throwing a chair into the ring, and like I said, Kenny King had a huge victory the other night over Adam Cole. Another victory here would really continue to boost them up. Of course, I think 2 victories in a row in the universe mode is what gets you your first little chunk of momentum. So we don't know if we've had anyone that's done that so far here this evening. Michael Elgin, Brian Cage, and the American. I can't believe we've had 3 debuting. We had 2 debuting singles competitors and 1 debuting tag team, and so far they've all won their matches. So ACH needs to try and see if he can continue that run going here this evening by winning this ladder match, but it is not going to be easy for him at all. Austin Aries now with that Saito suplex on Kenny King, and it looks like all the guys this match have got it in for Kenny King here at the moment. They're all just taking it in turns to get a few punches in on him. Austin Aries to the outside now, getting a hold of that ladder. Throwing it into the ring, and it caught Kenny King in the back as well. And Stone Cold ACH there with the stunner. I'm not quite sure if he's done that in Ring of Honor or not. I've not seen a lot of Ring of Honor as of recent, but ACH in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla has taken up the gimmick of Stone Cold ACH. And you'll see him sometimes using some very similar moves to Stone Cold Steve Austin. And where the hell did that ladder go? That flew a long way away, didn't it, really? As Aries throwing the ladder back into the ring now. As Kenny King showing off his wrestling ability. Nick Jackson with the Salida del Sol on Austin Aries. No one yet tried to climb the ladder in the middle. And a crossroads style move there by ACH as well. ACH going up onto the top rope. What does he have planned? Oh, Kenny King makes way back to his feet, and ACH sort of decides against the dive. ACH with a scoop slam on Kenny King. Neck breaker here by Nick Jackson as well. And remember, there's nothing really on the line in this match, but I will say that whoever wins this match is definitely going to get a boost up the rankings for definite. Austin Aries is someone who could do with a victory, because he really wants to fly up these rankings. And of course, Austin Aries lost his first match on Ring of Honor television the other day against AJ Styles. So not a match that he was probably expected to win, don't get me wrong, but it's a match that he would very much want to win. I'm pretty sure that 2 losses in a row also gives you doesn't it also give you the opposite to a momentum, gives you like a cold streak. But I'm not sure if that would I'm not sure if that would count in the in sort of like a ladder match here, because no one really loses, do they? It's not like somebody gets pinned or somebody submits. Elbow drop there by ACH to the back of Kenny King. Austin Aries to the outside now with Kenny King. Big spear there by Nick Jackson. And Austin Aries with that ladder right to the stomach of Kenny King. Nick Jackson went for like an ace crusher, but Nick Jackson does hit the Salida del Sol there on ACH, mid of the ring. And I think in our top prospect tournament we might even see the Young Bucks involved in singles competition as well. Backstabber there by Nick Jackson, and ACH has landed on top of that ladder as well. And Austin Aries, I thought he might be going for a springboard there on ACH. ACH was perfectly lined up on that ladder. Super kick there by Nick Jackson, welcoming ACH to the super kick party. Now Nick Jackson is setting that ladder up. But he does not climb, he decides to do a little bit more damage to ACH, who has been busted open as well. ACH on his debut here in Ring of Honor, busted open via Nick Jackson's super kick. And now nobody can climb that ladder because that chair's in the way. That's a little bit annoying, isn't it? But there you go. As it looks like Kenny King and ACH working together now on Nick Jackson. Double suplex. ACH looking to get a little bit of retribution on Nick Jackson, who busted him open. And there's Kenny King with a ladder to the face of Nick Jackson. Now Kenny King with the ladder to the back of Austin Aries as well. And of course Kenny King is going to be part of our All Night Express tag team alongside Rhett Titus, but I'm sure we'll see him in some singles competition as well. Thinking Kenny King might also be working for Global Force Wrestling as well, just to be part of the Next Gen Championship. I'm just going to write that down in my notes again to have a look at after this tournament, just to make sure that he is working Global Force Wrestling, because like I said, we really want to see him going for it in every situation. Nick Jackson's halfway up the ladder. Nobody seems to have noticed him as yet. ACH is the first man back into the ring. And ACH does manage to bring Nick Jackson down. But Nick Jackson just launches ACH straight back over that top rope. And Nick Jackson's going for it again. But ACH again back in the ring, and the clubbing blow across the back of Nick Jackson. Down he comes. Back to reality. Now Now, one match that I do miss, it's not been on for a few years now, is the Triple Threat Tag Team ladder match. That was one that we used to love doing. And of course, Triple Threat Tag Team TLC match. Two matches that we really want to be able to use a lot more in this universe mode. Kenny King's climbing. Austin Aries is down and out. And Nick Jackson and ACH are none the wiser here on the outside. And Kenny King has pulled it down. Oh my word, Kenny King is on the form of his life here. Picks up a victory over Adam Cole on Ring of Honor television, and now here he is, winning this Fatal 4-Way ladder match as well. I can't believe it. Kenny King wins this Fatal 4-Way ladder match. Again, they use the briefcase because there's no belt on the line, but there you go. Not a major problem. We still get the full effect. That briefcase has nothing inside of it. Let's just say that briefcase has $10,000 in it. There we go. He literally has got money in the bank now, Kenny King. But what that's also going to do is that's going to boost him up the rankings, surely. And maybe we might have to look at giving him some sort of championship match. Of course, like I said, he's going to be heavily involved in our top prospect tournament. And at this sort of rate, I think he could be looking to win it, especially with, like I said, a big victory on Ring of Honor television last week against Adam Cole. And now this big victory in this Fatal 4-Way ladder match. Kenny King has really just leapfrogged himself into a very strong position here in the universe mode. And here we go with our 6th match here this evening in Ring of Honor's Mystery Vortex. Of course, a Pro Wrestling Guerrilla format, which is why we're using the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla arena, and of course the nice little neon light sort of match type. I quite like that. This match here is going to be a last man standing match. A match type I've not used yet in 2K16, so it'd be interesting to see how it all works. But as you see here, we have our first competent. It's Roderick Strong. First time we're going to see Roderick in this universe mode, so I'm interested to see how well he sort of acts in the ring. I'm really looking forward to this one. Like I said, this is going to be a great match. This was actually the first match I pulled out of the hat, and I thought, no, we can't have it as the opening match of the evening. We're going to have it later on. Of course, we only have one more match for you left after this one, and that is the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship match between Chris Hero and Kyle O'Reilly. But who is going to be Roderick Strong's opponent here in this last man standing match? Roderick Strong's shirt disappears there. The lights go out. Either the lights have gone out or my television's gone off. I'm not 100% sure. I'm hoping so. There we go. There is somebody there finally. It's the global champion, AJ Styles. Yes, Roderick Strong versus AJ Styles. Last man standing is our match here right now. And this is going to be outstanding. You can just tell straight away. And what would a victory here for Roderick Strong do? I'm not sure Roderick Strong's actually working for Global Force Wrestling at the moment. I think he's solely working for Ring of Honor. But a victory here over the global champion would really, it would really fire him up the rankings, especially since, of course, AJ Styles defeated Austin Aries on Ring of Honor television last week. And like I said, this will be the first time we're going to use the last man standing match format here in the universe mode. So hopefully it does work. It does work, hopefully, because I know the last man standing on 2K15 was very, very, very frustrating. You'd see people hit their finisher and their opponents would get up within a couple of seconds. You'd see somebody hit a hip toss and all of a sudden they were down for like 15, 20 seconds. It was very frustrating, but hopefully 2K16 is going to work a lot better as we see Roderick Strong versus AJ Styles. And here we go. And I have no idea how long this video is right now. For me, it's 2 hours so far. And we still have this match and our main event for you. But like I said, that's mainly because of the loading screens have been so long. I think that's because I've been running the entrances. Normally they're not going to be this long. I don't normally run the entrances in normal weekly shows, so we're going to stick to doing that. We'll have the entrances for pay-per-views and for championship matches, but for normal weekly shows, we're not going to have the entrances. It just does take a long time. Like 2 hours to record a video. It's going to be about 2.5, maybe 3 hours by the time I finish doing this recording, and then obviously I've got to edit it and get it uploaded for you guys. And I am already running behind, so I'm hoping to get this uploaded for you as soon as I possibly can. And then I've got to get straight on and start recording some more footage. I've got to record our current day roster's second episode. That's going to be uploaded tomorrow morning as well, so I've got to get that done as well this evening. Plus I want to try and get some more random matches done and probably get as far ahead as I possibly can as well on our Universe Mode episodes. If I can get 3 or 4 videos ahead of myself here today, it's going to make my life so much easier this week. Even just getting 1 episode ahead will make my life a lot easier this week. It's just it comes a bit difficult with the recordings. If I have to record and edit the episode for the next day, that night after work, I run out of time so quickly. So if I can do it the other way around, just record the episodes and just edit them, leave them to edit throughout the night, because it does take a long time for these episodes to edit, and obviously it just takes a long time to save. So if I can just record an episode and leave it to edit overnight while I'm in bed, then that's gonna speed the whole process up quite a lot, I think. As AJ Styles is lining Roderick Strong up, and there's a big boot to the face. Remember, as this is last man standing, it means that there are going to be no disqualifications as well, so weapons will count. I'm going to turn my telly up slightly so I can hear the referee counting to 10 if needs be. Roderick Strong dropping AJ Styles flat on his face. And now Roderick Strong just slamming the head of AJ Styles into the mat, and hopefully you can't hear the referee counting on my telly. That's a 2. 3. AJ Styles is not even moving yet. AJ is back up. I was starting to really worry then. I think AJ might have been playing a bit of possum there, just trying to use the time he had to try and rebuild some energy while grounded. That's a clever move by AJ Styles. Although it started to worry me that was going to be the end of the match after that dodgy sort of finish, but there you go. AJ just wrenching the arm of Roderick Strong back now. AJ Styles slides outside the ring. What is he looking for? He's underneath the ring looking for some weaponry by the looks of it. And he has got a chair. Oh, but Roderick Strong with the right hand catching AJ Styles, now throwing AJ into the mat there, and I think he caught a little bit of the ring steps as well. And now Roderick Strong, oh, great move there, just sort of locked in almost like a cloverleaf submission, then just DDT'd the legs into the mat. Both guys now back into the ring. How much damage has AJ taken on the outside? Not enough, evidently, as he hits that tilt-a-whirl backbreaker on Roderick Strong. And now AJ's back under the ring. What's he looking for now? AJ Styles pulls out a ladder. Oh, and Roderick Strong takes that ladder straight to the face. And now AJ just swinging that ladder at the grounded Roderick Strong. Referee starts his count. I'll tell you what, this could be all here. You know, Roderick took a hell of a beating from that ladder from AJ Styles. Referee up to a 6 count. There you go, Roderick back up to his feet. And I wonder whether that's set so that they start to get up more in an 8 count, I think. I worried early on that was too late in. That was a spiked DDT there by AJ Styles. Big boot to the stomach of Roderick Strong. And now a big kick as well. And AJ really just destroying Roderick Strong on the outside. And I really hope this last man standing concept works pretty well, because I would like to use it a bit more. That's the problem we had in 2K15. A lot of the match types just didn't work properly, AI versus AI. So we ended up sort of just skipping a lot of them, making our own match types up and all sort of things like that. So I want to really be able to use match types like Last Man Standing or cage match as well didn't work very well. Hell in a Cell matches didn't work very well. So I want to try and be able to use all of those correctly. Referee up to a 4 count here on AJ, but AJ back up to his feet. Showing he may be down, but he's nowhere near out. Roderick Strong with that reverse backbreaker. Very, very painful move on AJ Styles. Now a boot to the face as well. Referee counting. Back up to a 4 count he goes. It's 6, and now AJ Styles back up to his feet once again. AJ went for the Pele kick. I don't think he quite caught all of it, but it might be enough. Referee to a 5. 7, and now Roderick Strong slides out the ring, and he has a hold of that chair which AJ brought from underneath the ring earlier. AJ taking that chair away from Roderick, but the chair eventually falls flat to the ground. AJ now launching Roderick Strong back into the ring. And you know what? I think this Last Man Standing concept is working a lot better than 2K15 was, and I've moaned quite a bit about 2K16. There are a lot of glitches that need to be fixed, but one of the things that they have done which really improved the game is they've improved all of the match sort of mechanics, apart from the tag team one, which I don't think is quite working. It looks like a lot of these other ones do work pretty well. Of course, this is the Last Man Standing match. This is working quite well. Maybe the referee shouldn't count as often because it does slow the match down quite a bit. All AJ's done is a DDT on Roderick Strong. Not quite sure that's going to be enough to finish him off, but maybe I'm wrong. Referee up to a 6 count now. 7. 8, and Roderick Strong back up to his feet again. May have been playing possum slightly just to try and get the extra time needed. And now this match sparks the life as both these guys back up now. Roderick Strong with a gut-wrench suplex on AJ Styles. Referee starts the count. Not quite sure it's going to be enough to keep AJ down, but you never know. The damage has been done to both these guys throughout this match. It could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, or this match could still be going on. Referee up to a 5 now. 7 count. AJ back up to his feet. Roderick Strong, there it is, the suplex onto the knees, and now that could be all. Roderick Strong with his big finisher maneuver. 2, 3, 4. Referee slightly slower than a second, isn't he? That's a 5. AJ's starting to stir on the ground now. What AJ does just about make it up to his feet. Roderick Strong can't believe it. Another backbreaker by Strong. Again bringing AJ back up to his feet, but AJ fights back with that uppercut. And it's great to see this concept does work. And I'm really enjoying this match, actually. It's a concept I want to use quite a lot in the Attitude Era, because I did use a lot of gimmick matches back in the Attitude Era. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that, actually. Roderick Strong now bringing AJ into the middle of the ring. Butterfly into a backbreaker. And again, Roderick Strong bringing AJ back up to his feet, but AJ gets back into that big clothesline. Referee's counting, but I'm not sure if AJ's finished yet. AJ slightly glitching out now, just walking into the legs of Roderick Strong. Strong back up after a 6 count. AJ with a boot to the side of the leg. Oh, and a drop kick to the shin there by Roderick Strong, taking AJ Styles down. And I must say, Roderick is probably in a better position in this match than AJ Styles is. Referee up to a 3 count now. And you know what? I think it's getting closer and closer to this being the end for AJ Styles now, you know. And AJ back up, slowly but surely back up. Went for the Pele kick again, but Roderick Strong avoids it. AJ Styles, drop kick to the face of Roderick Strong. That's the sort of move that can knock you unconscious, but it's still not enough for AJ Styles. That stamp to the back of the leg. Referee making the count. The drop kick to the face, you can be surprised how much damage that can do. It can knock a man silly. Has it knocked Roderick Strong silly? Strong back up after a 6 count. AJ with that DDT. Referee starts the count once again. Up to a 3 count. And we've seen Roderick getting up on the 6 count the last few times. Not this time though. Could this be all? It looks like it might be. It was. That big drop kick to the face by AJ Styles must have knocked Roderick Strong down and out there. And AJ Styles picks up the victory. It wasn't the most spectacular finish of the match, don't get me wrong, but yeah, that big drop kick to the face was enough to keep Roderick Strong down and out. Of course, the straw that broke the camel's back, like I've said many times before, the damage was done throughout the match, and that big drop kick to the face of Roderick Strong was just enough to finish him off. And yeah, I think this last man standing match style does work. Not perfectly, but it does work, and I think we can get some pretty good matches out of this one in the future. But in this case, AJ Styles picks up his second victory here in Ring of Honor in succession after defeating Austin Aries on last week's Ring of Honor television. Now he's defeated Roderick Strong here in a last man standing match. And here we go with our main event here this evening, and that image right there might spoil our match type. As we know, it's Chris Hero versus Kyle O'Reilly for the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship. And what match type has been pulled out of the hat? Well, you can probably guess. It's a steel cage match. As Lillian Garcia is a lot longer talking than I am, as we see the entrance of our first competitor here now. Where is he? There he is. It's Chris Hero, the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Champion. Won that belt in the championship tournament. Of course, he defeated Kyle O'Reilly in the finals of that tournament. However, as we saw, Kyle O'Reilly's hand was on the bottom rope as the referee was making the 3 count. Therefore, it should have been a like I say, it should have been a rope break. The referee should not have counted it. However, unfortunately for Kyle O'Reilly, the referee did not see it, and that's why we have given Kyle O'Reilly the opportunity here again this evening to fight it out for this Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship. This time it's going to be a steel cage match as decided by the Hat of Doom. Which is actually not even a hat, it's a Tupperware dish that I had my lunch out of at work. But there you go. I had no hats in the flat, so we've used my lunchbox instead. But still, it was effective. We're going to end up with a steel cage match. And again, a steel cage match is a match type I haven't used yet in this this universe mode or on 2K16. So it'll be interesting to see how this one works as well. And there you see Kyle O'Reilly, one half of the Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, making his way to the ring. Yeah, like I was saying, I haven't used the cage match at all yet on 2K16, so I want to see how it works. Hopefully it's going to be pretty good. I know we had some really dodgy cage matches early on in 2K15, which is why we didn't use the format a lot after that. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. I want to see that the last man standing match works a lot better than it did on 2K15. We've seen that. Not 100% perfect, don't get me wrong, but still very effective. And we're going to be able to use last man standing a lot more in this universe mode, I think. And I'm hoping after a good match here this evening, we'll be able to use the cage matches more often as well. As we see the cage dropping down. And we see the match start here. So let's see how a cage match works in WWE 2K16. Hopefully it's good. I want to start using some cage matches in our random match series as well, just to see, just to try and give it a little bit of variation. Like I say, it's we don't want to keep having singles matches and extreme rules matches as the only types of matches we ever have in this universe mode. So by getting some of these other match types to work is going to be pretty good. I know the Hell in a Cell match, we've only done one so far. We did Triple H versus Cactus Jack in the No Way Out arena, sort of recreating that famous Hell in a Cell match. It worked okay. It worked okay. Cactus Jack did try and use a weapon, but apart from that, they didn't try and escape the cell or anything like that on their own, which was a little bit disappointing. But yeah, this evening still cage match. I did one early on in 2K15, which really put me off cage matches altogether. I think that was Hulk Hogan versus Sting, and it took me, I think it was like 11 or 12 attempts to record the match to actually get one that was a half decent finish. Just see Chris Hero climbing the cage, but Kyle O'Reilly has a hold of his leg and brings him down. And I think it's going to work better on this game because if you hit a high impactful move, your opponent stays down on the mat for longer, which is pretty good, and that's what you need in a cage match. 2K15, I often made the comment that somebody would hit their finisher maneuver and then their opponent would get up within a couple of seconds. Like, you'd hit someone with a Stone Cold Stunner, for example, if you were Austin, and within a couple of seconds your opponent would be up and trying to pull you down the cage. So that wasn't very realistic. So in this one, say Chris Hero hits his big discus elbow to the back of the head, I would imagine he would be able just to climb straight over the top of the cage, in theory. I'm not sure if Chris Hero might be a little bit, not disadvantaged in this this match type, but I think it might be a lot easier for Kyle O'Reilly to climb the cage than it is for Chris Hero. Not saying that Chris Hero is not an athlete alongside Kyle O'Reilly, nothing like that. But obviously Chris Hero is a bigger guy, and it's going to be a bit more difficult for him to climb up that cage. You see the gaps in the fencing that you need to climb are not very big. To fit your feet and hands in is going to be very, very difficult. Kyle O'Reilly might have a bit more luck. I think he's a bit more agile, Kyle O'Reilly, but I have to see how it all pans out. Of course, if Chris Hero can knock Kyle O'Reilly out, which we know he's perfectly capable of doing, he's a very aggressive man, Chris Hero, then he could just climb out that cage with no worries whatsoever. Kyle O'Reilly now with a Northern Light suplex, rolls through it, still has Hero up, and there's the suplex to follow. And O'Reilly's going to go for it here by the looks of it. He's thinking about it. And now there he goes, up onto the cage. Slowly climbing. Chris Hero joining O'Reilly up there and now catches him by the back and brings him down. Almost like a Russian leg sweep. But the damage now that's been done to Kyle O'Reilly, I think Chris Hero looked like he was going to try and climb the cage. He does. I don't think he's realised that O'Reilly's back up to his feet. And O'Reilly catches the leg of Chris Hero and brings him down the hard way. Now O'Reilly up onto the middle rope with that senton splash. I remember we've had 2 championship matches so far here this evening, and both have ended up in belts changing hands, and is the same thing going to happen here this evening? It's a possibility. It's a big, big possibility. I'm sure that Chris Hero would be hoping it's not. Don't get me wrong. Kyle O'Reilly, that big knee to the face of Chris Hero. Now sending Chris Hero into that far corner. Big back elbow by Hero. O'Reilly catching then that front chancery, and there's a big knee to the face by O'Reilly again on Chris Hero. And O'Reilly with another Northern Light suplex. As Chris Hero just crawling along to that rope. O'Reilly again with the Northern Light suplex, and this time he's going to try and roll through it once again. big, impactful move by Kyle O'Reilly. There it is. Northern Light suplex rolling through into the suplex. And I thought O'Reilly might have gone to try and climb there, but thinks against it and goes for that triangle choke. And now O'Reilly's looking to climb. But Chris Hero crawling back up to his feet. Is Hero going to be able to get up in time to block O'Reilly off? And he does just about. He gets a hold of him, brings him down the hard way once again. And that does a lot of damage to your opponent, that I think. Big boot to the stomach there by Chris Hero. Now bringing O'Reilly back up to his feet. And Chris Hero with that cravat-style neckbreaker. Again, bringing O'Reilly back up to his feet. And Hero taking him up. The young knockout kid. The tombstone power driver. I forgot. Cage matches are pinfall or escape, aren't they? And there you go. Chris Hero wins this one by pinfall. I completely forgot the cage matches are pinfall, submission or escape. Wow, I didn't even think of that. I did not even think of that, but it was enough there by Chris Hero to retain his Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship here in this cage match. What a great match it was, and you know what, the cage match concept does work, I think. I quite liked it. I did like it, and I think we'll get another chance to use it later on in this universe mode, and it'll be a lot more effective once again. But Chris Hero, the only person all evening to successfully retain his championship. Well done to Chris Hero. So quick recap what we've seen so far this evening. Then we saw Matt Seidel lose his Ring of Honor Television Championship to Zack Sabre Jr. via submission. We've seen the debut of Michael Elgin as he defeated Doc Gallows. We've seen the debut of Brian Cage as he won a fatal 4-way Extreme Rules match against Rhino, Bobby Fish and Tommaso Ciampa. The debut again of the American Wolves as they won the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships from the Motor City Machine Guns. Kenny King continues his absolutely astonishing run as he won a 4-way ladder match against Austin Aries, Nick Jackson and ACH. We saw AJ Styles defeat Roderick Strong in a last man standing match, and of course Chris Hero successfully retain his Ring of Honor Championship in a cage match over Kyle O'Reilly. Well, guys, that is the end of this episode and the end of our very first pay-per-view here, Ring of Honor's Mystery Vortex. I hope you've all enjoyed it. If you have, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, and of course yeah, it really does help me out a lot. And of course, if you're not already, be sure to subscribe, because we'll be uploading some more daily WWE 2K16 footage. And we're going to try and get one episode of the Universe Mode uploaded every day and one random match every day as well as my current Fallout 4 series as well. So be sure to keep an eye on that if you are interested. I have been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for WWE Monday Night Raw.